The other day I was sitting down to put together holiday content and trying to think back on the years of like what I've created and what might be helpful this year. And as I was doing this, I was like looking at my computer screen and like a calendar, just trying to put my thoughts together. My eyes started to twitch. Does that happen for anybody else? And like you notice it because it's in your view, but I know people around me don't, but it's so disruptive and it's like caused from stress, and then having my eye twitch is like more stressful. But anyways, it got me thinking that I feel like this holiday season is the most stressful in a while, and I don't really know why. And so I'm going to share some of the reasons that it's happening for me, and maybe you could share in the comments some of the reasons it's happening for you, and hopefully, together I'll offer some of the things that are helping me feel better and get through it. And feel free to share some of your own, because it's really about this community and the connection that we have that I think is really good for me and really healing for me, and part of what keeps me wanting to create. But this season seems way more stressful than others. And it's kind of wild because I don't know if anybody did this too as a kid, but I remember as a child counting down the days till Christmas. Now, obviously it was because of greed, because I wanted like all the presents, but I remember even putting together those red and green like construction paper rings. Did anybody else do that? And every day in December, you would tear one off, and I would look in my room because it'd be hung up like above my window, and I'd be like, only 17 more days. Like, it was just crazy. And I would count down with just so much excitement. But as an adult, I'm like, oh my God, how is it already the 20th? Like, this is out of control. Like, things have just picked up speed, like so fast, right? And I think when we're children, the holidays aren't really stressful for us, right? We don't really have a lot of things that we have to do. No one's really counting on us to purchase a lot of presents. A lot of times the parents are doing all of that heavy lifting, but I don't even have any kids. And it's just interesting. And I think what I've come to decide that there are various factors for me that have caused this year to be more stressful than others. Now, number one is the fact that things were closed down for a couple of years with COVID. I know not for everybody, not everybody did that, but for us, we did. We haven't traveled home for the holidays to Montreal or to Washington in many years because of COVID. And this is the first year that everybody's kind of doing that again. And flights are so expensive that it makes it like impossible. And then you feel guilty for not doing it. And that just adds a little to the stress of it. Not to mention that I feel like when I'm trying to add in my holiday to-dos, right? Like and these are things I honestly love. I love buying gifts for people. I'm the worst gift giver. When I buy them, I immediately want to tell them what I got and I want them to open it. So like wrapping them, putting them under the tree is just like torture for me. But adding those holiday to-dos, like I need to figure out what to get my mom or Sean or people that work with us. Like I need to figure that out. Cramming that into my already busy schedule is a lot and it's overwhelming. And I think that was kind of what triggered that like eye twitch to happen. And I also want the gifts to be like the best gifts ever. And so putting the thought and time into the gift giving, because I really would love to have each and every gift be like meaningful and thoughtful, but I just don't have that capability, right? I don't have that brain space. And then I think there's some guilt that comes along with that. And so that's part of it. And kind of what I talked about with the flight costs, like the cost of things are crazy this year. And that adds to more stress because then you're like, well, how much can I afford to do? And who can I buy things for? And what does that look like? And are they going to be offended if I don't spend X amount? Or, we have to navigate that. And it kind of sucks and it's super stressful. And the next thing for me, and I'm not going to cry, I'm going to hold it together, but I miss my grandma and I miss my papa. And when people have passed away, I feel like the holidays are like a reminder that they're not there. Because my grandma and papa always hosted. And it's not that they would do all the work. Like in the later years of their life, we would often just have it at their house and we would like bring everything there. But I feel like when the holidays come around and someone that you love isn't there, it's really hard to like get excited about it and want to do it because it isn't the same, right? And I feel like as we get older, I remember I was talking to my uncle after my grandma passed away. And I was just, we were just having a moment, and he said, it's a changing of the guards, Katie. It's like, because they were the last of that generation, right? And he was like, I guess we're the oldest ones, meaning him and his wife and my mom, that generation, they're the next oldest generation of our family. And I was like, wow, he's right. Like I never thought about it that way. And that's hard, right? It's not the same. And I think I know in the case of like my uncle, he doesn't want to be he doesn't want the changing of the guards to happen. He still wants his parents to be here and, to be the the older generation, I feel like, comes with its own probably set of stressors. And then it doesn't feel the same for any of us. It's just weird. You kind of feel like you're in this weird like purgatory or limbo between what used to be and what will be. And it's just this uncomfortable transition. And that's added a lot of stress and made it hard for me to sleep and made it hard for me to focus and just all the things, And if you're experiencing any of that kind of anxiety or stress in relation to anniversaries or grief or reminders of things that maybe used to have been, know that you're not alone. And I've been doing some simple things to help myself. One of which was I've been taking, it's called Calm tea, I think it is, and it has magnesium in it. And I'm not a doctor, so check with your doctor before you take anything like this. But magnesium and L-theanine have been really helpful in getting me to go to sleep. I also do some stretches before I go to bed, and that has helped kind of alleviate some of the stressors that I might be feeling because of the holidays. And, there's a lot that goes into it. And since my sleep has been a bit choppy lately, and like I said, my eye has been twitching, I've been trying out a lot of different things to help me relax. And I'm excited to share today's sponsor with you, Camuso. What I have here is what is known as their Shift necklace. And it's made out of medical grade stainless steel, so it lasts forever and it won't tarnish, but it forces you to slow down your breath. So if you try to blow through it quickly, it won't allow it. In fact, when I had my mom try it out because she was here, I didn't really explain it to her properly, I guess, and she gave it back to me and she's like, I can't get my breath through it, Katie. It won't let me breathe it through. Something's wrong. And I was like, no, it's supposed to do that because when you breathe through it, it forces us to take longer and slower exhales, which triggers our parasympathetic nervous system, which if you didn't know, it's the one responsible for our relaxation and rest. It's also called our rest and digest system. So when we get overwhelmed or stressed, I notice that I'm breathing up into my shoulders in these like quick, short breaths. And using the Shift necklace, I'm able to slow that breath down before my system gets even more overwhelmed. And I love that I can have it with me at all times. I think it looks pretty cool. And it's helping me create a new and healthier habit to slow my breath down. And you can get 15% off of yours now by clicking the link in the description or heading to camusodesigns/discount/Katie15. Another thing I want to talk about when it comes to stress with the holidays is what I've heard from some of my single friends, that the holidays can put a lot of pressure on having a significant other. I've even seen those funny memes where people are like, you can pay me $100 and I'll come to your Christmas dinner and pretend that I'm your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. And I don't know why that is. And when my friends were talking about this, I realized that like every holiday movie revolves around a romantic relationship. Every event revolves around couples and being together and buying these gifts like diamonds or cars. And who buys, maybe if you do, good for you, but like who buys a car for Christmas? I feel like there's just so much pressure to be settled. And I even remember when Sean and I were first dating, when I would go home, I'd get questions about like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to settle down, sis? It's been a while. Over and over. And then once we got married, when are you going to have kids? And all this pressure to do things at a certain time because someone else says that we should do them. And that can just add to the stress and the difficulty with going home. And I think there's also, a lot of pressure out there, not only for us to have a significant other, but also to have a good relationship with our family. And if we're estranged from them, or if we don't really get along, or maybe we don't agree with them, I know politics have made people so divided lately. People having a difficult time even being with family they don't agree with. It can be really hard to feel like we need to get together and that's something that has to happen. And so what I encourage you to do, because I'm encouraging myself mainly, is take care of our basic needs. I've been trying to eat more regularly, well-balanced meals. Notice I didn't say healthy, but more balanced, meaning protein, carb, veggie, or fruit. Making sure that I'm getting these well-balanced meals helps me feel better. Also making sure I get enough sleep, that I manage my stress with even things like the Camuso. It's a very affordable option to help us better manage that overwhelm. I've been doing my full body shakes. I've been showering regularly, taking my vitamins and any prescribed medication. Making sure that we're doing those things can help us be less vulnerable to these kinds of ups and downs that come with the holidays. Another thing that I've been doing is working on healthy boundaries. You all know I'm doing a boundaries workshop, And that's because honestly, it's just as helpful for me to learn about it and teach it to you as it is hopefully for you to learn about it, because boundaries are just important, right? I can go to Christmas dinner, and if that one family member wants to pick a fight with me, I get to choose how I want to respond. I know it's mind blowing and it's really hard, but we're going to do it together. We're going to try, right? Because boundaries have more to do with how we respond, right? We can't control other people. And I think the more I like beat that into my head, you can't control other people, Katie. I can't make someone apologize or make them not be so combative. All I can do is decide whether or not I want to engage with them, whether or not I'm going to sit through it and let them talk to me that way. And I know some family dynamics don't leave space for that, but this is just one of many options, right? Another could be just to limit the time that we spend, meaning we come in for a couple days, say we have to get back out for work, right? We don't have a ton of time off, or, if we have a pet or a child, it can be difficult, and we can be like, I've got to get back, or I have this to do, or, we might have to split our time across two families. Making that time short where you can manage it for that amount, and then maybe setting up some extra support after, like a long phone call with a girlfriend while you're on the, driving in the car on the way to the airport or on your way home. That can be kind of your time to, and just knowing that connection has been really helpful for me. It's something I've talked about in a video probably like 3 weeks ago now about how much I need connection and how like healing it is for me. And maybe you feel that way too. And so making time for the people who are your chosen family, that could be your actual relatives, or it could be the people that you've decided to have in your life. Make sure that you make time for that. Like we've gone to my friends Lauren and Adam have a wonderful friend group over in Houston. We went to, like a Friendsgiving, and that's really healing for me to be around people who I love, who support me, who get me. So make sure that you're making time for that too. And like I said, leave any ideas you have in the comments, because for some reason to me, this year just feels extra stressful. And so finding some helpful tools and techniques, whether it's a Camuso shift necklace, whether it's magnesium L-theanine to help you sleep, talk to your doctor, whether it's taking care of those basic needs, seeing a therapist, connecting with friends, whatever it may be, we want to make sure that we all feel a little reprieve this year, because the holidays is the one time that work is kind of slowing down, at least for me. I don't know about you. And I want to take advantage of that. I want to actually be recharged. And if I come up with any other tools and techniques, I'll definitely let you know, but I would love it if you'd share those in the comments. Have a wonderful holiday season, doing things that feel good for you with people who you love and who love you back. I love you all so much. I couldn't do this without you. Every year, I'm always really reflective on the past year and how grateful I am to have this community, whether it's my community on Patreon, whether it's you in the comments, whether it's us on Instagram and TikTok, all of the ways that we connect. Every year, I'm just so grateful. So thank you for being part of my life. I hope you're thankful that I'm part of yours. And I can't wait to see what 2023 has in store for us.